To personalize these strategic insights, once you know at the company level who you're going after, we need to understand who are the individuals within these companies that matter most. Is it vice president of operations? Is it director of sustainability? Again, the leveling and the titles are going to vary quite a bit depending on their company size. We know, other things being equal, that's in smaller companies, people tend to wear a lot of hats, right? In larger company, it tends to be a lot more segmented out. There tends to be a lot more fine tuning, a lot more people across a lot of different roles and perhaps different departments. So depending on your company size, depending on their company size, in how you define your ideal client profile, that has a lot to do with how granular or how coarse your segmentation strategies. But say, for argument's sake, we're selling to an ESG, environmental sustainability governance person, and we're selling to a data center operations leader. So one's your primary buyer persona, one's your secondary buyer persona. One has the most impact, economic impact on the relationship with your company. The other one has the second most impact. And what we need to know for each of those roles is what their biggest goals are and what their biggest challenges are. What is in their job description, what's in their objectives and key results that they're trying to achieve individually, as a company, as a team. And we need those goals in their own words, not what you think their goals are probably are, but what their words actually are. In other words, we need to talk to them. We need to ask them these questions. We need to do the research and find the consensus for the top 5 or 6 biggest goals that they're working on. The flip side of that is we also need to know the 5 or 6 biggest challenges, their biggest struggles, what's driving them nuts, what's stressing them out to no end. And again, we need those in their own words. So we want to repeat this exercise for each of your most important buyer personas, like in this particular case, an operations leader and a sustainability leader. So we figure out their 5 or 6 biggest goals, their 5 or 6 biggest challenges for each of these 2 segments. That's going to help us prioritize what's going on in their world. It's going to help us have a lot more empathy for what is happening right now that we could potentially help them with, both from a services roadmap perspective, but even throughout the full journey, long before they know that they even need your services. Because in a world now where so much of the journey happens without you in the room, it is incredibly important for us to figure out how to get you in there early and often.